If no, we don't get anyone else. We're getting figure out. So sorry. So sorry. Yeah, I feel like can we move the camera? Do we know that? Oh no, this is gonna be in the recording.
Yeah. You go with me in your recording?
Or
if you want to stay here
somewhere else.
too, would it be easier to just stay in one?
Either
I
way,
mean, if
because I
we're
can
sharing the screen.
move it around. We can do that if you'd like.
It's fine.
Because I can back up on top of there if that's easier for you.
Yeah, let's see, because if I'm gonna share the screen, sorry.
Yeah, you could like barely see the little poles on the side of the road. I did not set it out. Will you check that stack of paper? Oh, the sign-in sheet is over here.
Yeah. Sorry. No, I got it.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Is that easy?
Then I will have to jump back.
Okay, put them in there. Put them in there.
Yeah.
Does that work there?
Yep,
Okay.
perfect.
And then is it okay if I put our sign-in
Oh, yeah,
stuff over
move
on?
whatever you need.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So are you guys familiar with stores?
Yes.
Okay, so she printed this off for the students in the workshop today. And if you have to prepare it, she can always use for the back and she will do that. Okay.
Yes, we got to sit under that. And a lot of what we can do is great.
Did you go back to redacted, right? Yeah.
It's.
Yeah, either.
I was waiting on the traffic back, but I don't want to take it. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm that is another.
Okay.
I think it's fine, and she had that, if you guys don't mind, it's we'll put it over here, in the corner, help yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but we love that. Yeah, we already doing just, I don't know. Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you. I like something of a wrap. No, we're all good. I think the Zoom's already recording.
Oh, just keep them fast.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. We're not going to talk. What do you do? What's wrong? Oh, sorry, camera feet and turn. Like I didn't know. Need a pen and paper, right?
Yep,
Okay, cool.
just a pen and paper. I really like your keychain though.
Oh, thank you. I'm very sorry. I did.
Good for you.
Yes, I'll try to-
We're, according to our program director, we're only allowed to order like school supplies. And so I had to sit down and put together a whole research paper of like, this is why fidget school supplies, we should order them, and
Yes. Well, it was well worth it.
Very good.
Oh, yes, you saw someone. Yes.
You can probably see the name on it.
Michelle McLean. Yeah, and then. Do we close this box?
I think so. I think you can minimize it.
Okay. Let me write it down. Leave that. Oops.
Did everyone find it? Thank you.
Want me to wait a little? Okay. Okay. I'll let her sign in. Well, I'll get started. My name is Anna Keller and I'm from the ASIS department, which is Academic Career and Exploratory Studies. But I am the Career Services side. My title is Career Development Specialist or Career Coach, you could also say. Sorry, you're fine.
I just want to turn on captions, but I.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and jump in here. So we're talking about internships today. Has anyone had an internship already? Has any, yeah? That's great. Has anyone had faculty or advisors say that it is required for your major? Yeah, one there. So a lot of times, majors require it for the benefits that we're going to talk about, but they also require it for the credit. So there are a lot of reasons behind that. Not all majors require it though. So I like the thought of do more than just look in the window. Yeah, so an internship is actually getting to step in. Did it work out? Okay, we're set then. Okay, so an internship is often different from a job because it's either a student or a trainee who is learning the world of the professionalism, whereas a trainee in the job is going to just be learning about the job and the steps of that. But an internship, you are learning about that field. You're learning about that that world and the language of it. You're not just learning the job that they put you in, You want to know the whole realm of it. You're gaining the work experience that may entail, like if you're going into business, you may be in an internship that's going to work with someone who is in advertising, but also someone who is in the accounting side of it. You might learn the whole realm of it, or an internship is going to narrow down to a specific area. So it can be very broad, very small as well, but you're learning the professional side of it and what that experience is like. You can either receive pay, compensation, or credit. So not all internships are paid internships. And although that is not something we as UW Career Services promote, or the organization that we're with, which is National Association of Colleges and Employers, both of us are pushing to have all paid internships because you're pouring so much into it. It's like walking up to the counter and saying, here's my coffee. This is what I'd like today. And they're like, okay, that's $5. And you're like, great. I can wash the dishes for you, or I can put the trash out for you. I could, do some marketing. Would that pay for it? And they're like, no, that's not going to pay for your coffee. The same reality goes with internships. We want you to be able to be paid for what you're doing because you still have to pay for life. You have to pay for housing, food, laundry. I got to do laundry so I can show up looking professional. So that is our backing behind paid internships. Now, does it go that way all the time? No. So you may find an internship where they're going to give a housing allowance, or they're going to help with the cost of getting there. Or, there's different compensations that they will give. If you have an internship during the semester, you might just be doing it for credit because it's required. So not all internships that are required for your major are going to pay. You're going to get credit for that. But you don't have to pay for all the other stuff either. I don't have to pay to fly to that area or transportation and housing. So you are also creating a professional network. And we're going to talk about some networking later, because I know just that word can be a little hesitant, but what you are investing in now in an internship is going to shape your future professionally. So you're getting the real world application and career discovery. There are people who get into an internship or the health profession. You have to go out and do, what's that called? Thank you, your practicum. And there have been students who have gotten into their practicum, which they're committed for a certain amount of time. And they're like, this is nothing that I really wanted to do. I don't want to do that side of this job. And I had no clue. So jumping into an internship is going to allow you to see that, whether it's short term or longer term, a couple months. You get to, immerse yourself in that professional world and count on those things of like, I like this. I don't like this. This is not what I wanted to do. Now what do I do? Which is a good question. Don't ever think that when you come across that question of now what, it's not a bad question. It's just a difficult one. So you are investing in shaping your future when you look into internships. So let's see. Oh, you can't see all of this. Is it okay? There we go. An internship gives a student the opportunity for career exploration and development and to learn new skills. So on your piece of paper, we're just workshopping some of this today too. Will you write down what is your major? And do you have a why? Why did you choose it? Which a lot of times, so my major in undergrad, I was a dance major because I didn't think I could get through school any other way. I needed to use my feet. My brain did not connect all of that stuff. I can't even remember if I had to do a math placement exam, which I hear about now. And I'm like, I don't think I did because I never would have passed. And So what is your why? A lot of people, I want to help people, my parents have done it, so it can be long, it can be short, but what is your major? And what is your why? Give you a minute to think on that. And if you don't have a why, that's a good thing to think on later. Will you share some of your majors with me and your whys?
Sure. My major is English, and I'm actually doing English because I want to teach English abroad.
Okay. It's a great why. Yes.
Kinesiology, because I get to help feel better, just like the idea of that I'm working as a personal trainer, that I'm like, that this one guy that I was training, he couldn't squat without knee pain. And then we did like some exercises and stretching and a whole bunch of stuff, and then eventually he would do like squat without knee pain. I was like, that's what I want to do.
Right, which makes a huge difference in his life. I mean, squatting, we think, oh, I don't squat, but you sit down in a chair a lot. So to have someone, I bet that relief.
Yeah.
That's great. What other majors and whys do we have? Yes.
I'm a civil engineering major and I just always love math, science and problem solving.
Okay, you like that kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
That's great. What other majors?
I'm psychology and sociology, and I just like understanding the way people work, and I love the research behind it and further research in the field.
Okay, so anybody else want to share their major and why? That's okay. When you look at your major, what does career exploration, development, and learning new skills look like within your major? So career explanation, kinesiology, you said personal trainer, PT, OT. I mean, did you have to go through a whole bunch of these other ones, or did you step into it knowing personal trainer is what I want?
Well, that just to become like a certified personal trainer is pretty easy. So then that's what I did.
Okay,
But kinesiology, that it's, you actually have the ability to become like a strength and conditioning coach for like their athletic team.
yep,
But that I was also really intrigued by the idea of doing the therapy.
okay. So there's a lot of factors within just thinking of the personal training, because I'm even thinking of the top three, you know, the NASM or the, you know, where you can get certified, but then you have the weightlifting, you have the, what is it? The bodybuilding is different, the athletic training is different. So there's so much I mean, you think, yes, I'm going to pick this English, but if you're teaching overseas, what other factors line up with that? Are you teaching culture as well? Are you jumping into other cultures? Does it look different depending on who you're teaching English to?
I guess it looks different, especially when you're doing it as a second language.
Okay,
Because like here, they're learning English as a academic writing style, right? But
Mm.
they're also including the grammar as well.
okay. So since there are so many of those factors, that's helping with the career exploration, the development, and the learning new skills. Because that's gonna help you determine what you're interested in. So let's look at the timeline of finding an internship. Not just finding, but following through with an internship. What I didn't say is that starting from your freshman year, you are building on your resume for the not just for graduation and after, but for your whole career as a professional, whether that is a professional in the same field or just a professional in the work experience. Because my master's is in dance, teaching, performance, dance history, but I'm a career specialist now, a career coach. I never thought about it, didn't even know this job existed until I applied for it. But everything that I've done prior, I still hit those days where it's like, I did this in undergrad. I know what they're talking about. Oh yeah, you know, so what you're developing from your first day as a freshman in college is building onto your resume, which is really important, or CV. So your personal goals, that the ideas that we talked about, why did you choose your major? Why are you taking the classes you're taking? You know, what is your interest in it? You can also look at the reality of, do I want an internship that is going to be for the whole semester? Do I want one that's going to be over the summer? Do I want one that's going to be, I know some students that are doing their internship remote the whole time they're in school. That's the job offer they gave, which is great. I mean, that's wonderful, but that's a lot of juggling too. What kind of worker are you? Like, I would need to focus on my classes when I was in the semester, but to have a summer internship opens up a lot of other opportunities. It can even open up the travel opportunity. Are you wanting to study abroad? Do you want to just stay remote? Or are you going to Spain next semester and you want to find an internship there? So that's a good thing to think about. You know, the cost. Can you do an internship that is low cost? Do you need one that is going to pay you more? Do you need one that's just going to give you compensation for certain stuff? Or do you just have to get the credits? And then your desired experience and requirement. So don't ever just throw out your personal goals. In fact, in the competencies that employers are looking for, self and career development is it's the top one that we list. Communication, professionalism, leadership, they all stem, but that self and career development is really important, especially right now where you're at. So the application materials are next. How is your resume? How many of you have a resume? Good. How many of you have updated your resume? Yes? And how many of you have an expected graduation date on your resume? Good. Is that, do you feel like that expected graduation date's gonna happen? Yeah? Okay. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. If you put one in and an employer is working with you on an internship and it's like, well, because of this, this, and this, it's gonna change. That's fine. Your resume will change all the time. In fact, if you upload it to something, you didn't get the job or the internship, when you go back, I wouldn't just count on keeping the resume that you uploaded the first time. I would go back and change it. Haley.
I have some questions.
Yeah.
What happens that students adjust their resume to the job that they're building, or
Yes.
as students should they just have like a bar?
So if you are going to a career fair, like ours are coming up in February, then I would have a general resume that presents you as a worker. And a variety of jobs like secretary, internship in marketing, you know, that shows what you're capable of. But if you are, my words are lost. If you're looking at a job description, you need to cater that resume and cover letter to the job description. And one of the main reasons is because we have to deal with artificial intelligence. And if you are going through that first, the AI or ATS, it's matching words. So if you have not matched other than 2 words in your resume to that job description, it's not going to put you through to a human. So always cater that job resume and cover letter to the job description that you're applying for. Thank you. And you guys, if you do have questions, just throw up your hands. Yeah. So has anyone done a cover letter before? Yeah? Okay. What's what is the most important part of a cover letter?
Would it be the body piece, kind of explaining who you are and like, your skill set and stuff?
Yes. Yeah, explaining who you are. You are answering what you know about the company and why you are the best fit for this position. So yeah, the body of that cover letter. So don't ever jump in thinking, oh, I'm applying because da 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 da. Why? You know, it's the handshake that you're giving someone. To know who you are addressing that cover letter to is a big thing as well. So I would say really think on that body, that section of why am I the best fit for this position? And then number 2, can you figure out who you're addressing your cover letter to? That says a lot about the effort you're putting in. Even with an internship, who are you addressing? Are you addressing a board of people that are just gonna okay it? She needs credit. Are you addressing an employer that is working with the university to get you this position? It really says a lot about who you are as a worker, those 2 things, the body and who you're addressing. So then you're in the middle. Find an internship is literally in the middle. It's not the beginning of this. It's in the middle. So who to ask and where to search is finding the internship. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more. So then you have connect, apply, and accept. So how to apply is important. Have that resume, have that cover letter. I'll tell you, the level of professionalism that a cover letter brings, even when they haven't asked for one, is impressive. It says something like, oh, you are interested. Okay, great, wonderful. Who to connect with and why is a huge part of getting not just a job, but an internship. And what other details need to be arranged? Do you have to figure out how to get there? Are you flying? Is it overseas? Is it in another town? Are you gonna have to find housing? That's stuff that you can end up asking the people that you're doing an internship. And then your future, wait, let's jump back here, accept. If you accept an internship, and you were waiting for the answer of another internship to come, and the second internship was the one you really wanted. So say 2 weeks later, they finally offer you that one. You really need to think about, I accepted this one. How do I follow through as a worker? And how does it look on me later if that person, even if this company knows this person over here, you never know who someone knows. So you really need to approach accepting internships as, how much time do I have? When do you need to know by? Instead of, I'm waiting for this other one, I'll accept this. And then if they let me, then I'll just, tell them I can't do it. Now life happens and internship realities, we know that too, because a lot of times they're a shorter period of time. So, if a family member gets sick or, the housing thing didn't follow through, you can't find something, you need to be honest with them. Because the nice thing about internships is that you are still cultivating a relationship with your employer in the reality of a student, a trainee, of learning the professional world. So my hope is that they will enjoy the full communication that you are trying to offer. You will come across people who just don't. I've applied for jobs before and I had someone, I was checking in and said, I just wanted to know what's going on with this. Are you still looking for someone? Has the position been filled? And I got a nasty email back and thought, what did I do wrong? Well, I didn't do anything wrong. They might have just been having a bad day, but they didn't want to communicate with me. So it made me question too, is that where I want to work? So know that all of these steps intertwine with your future, but also who you are bringing to the job and who you're working with too. You're looking into this company. You may find out you don't like working with the company. So be polite on that idea of accepting. So in the future, when you're in the internship, once you get it and receive it, then you should keep a list, what they call it, a career journal. in any job that you're doing, because who knows, I could be in this job for a year and then I'm looking for something else. Or like COVID, all of a sudden, they have to shut certain things down. You should have a journal that says, what am I accomplishing? What am I bringing? Have I developed something? Have I organized events? Have I worked in collaboration with someone? So in the internship, I really encourage you guys, even in your classes, you should be keeping a journal of what are you accomplishing? What are you bringing to the position? Because when you get to the resumes, it's not about what my responsibilities were. It's about what did I accomplish? So I collaborated, I led, I developed. In our career guide, we have a 2-page section that just has all these ED words. Yeah, facilitated. Instead of I was responsible for answering the phone. No, you successfully communicated with customers via email, telephone calls, and in person. Doesn't that say more than just I was responsible for answering the phone? So you're looking into your future. I keep forgetting what to click. Okay, you can do, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing, right? But I don't just want to point you guys to a website, but we are going to go over the resources that we have. So this QR code should lead you to Handshake. Are you guys familiar with Handshake? Yes, it's where, if you aren't, you can either scan the QR code. I do have some Handshake stuff over there. It's a good thing to look into because that's where we are pushing our employers to post stuff. So when they connect with us on campus, we tell you guys, go to Handshake. What are they looking for? Who are you looking for? You can look into the employers there. Our career fairs are posted on Handshake. So we have 4 of them coming up February 11th, no, 12th through the 15th. And you can go into Handshake and look at the career fairs that are at our school. You can also look at the ones that maybe are at CSU. You know, there are some overlap and it's like, well, I need to check out more employers. They're not coming here, but they're coming to CSU. I can get down there. So you can get into Handshake. It is going to ask you some questions to set up an account. I do encourage you to, yes, you can put your UW email, but make sure you put a personal email as well, because once you graduate, that UW email is going to be taken away within a year. And I don't know that they send out an alert of, hey, we're taking it away. So make sure, even on your resumes, I would encourage you, don't put your school emails, put your personal emails. Yes. Employers, you can get into the list of career fairs. You can look at employer information and you can go in there and see which employers came. Business had their career fair last semester. But because you know who came, you can go in, look at those employers that came. And if there are some that pique your interest, then reach out and communicate with them. It's a great way to start an email. I saw that you came to the business career fair. I am a University of Wyoming student. That opens the door. If they put the effort to come here, they're going to want to talk to you. The ACES page, let's do this one. See if this will work. So this is our ACES page. And the schedule of Career Prep Week is on here, where we have a whole bunch of workshops happening. We have employers running them. We have some international studies, what to do after graduation. They'll probably talk about the OPT, which is optional. I'm learning this. Anybody know? No? Personal something. But they can help out with that. We've got the Forest Service coming on Wednesday. She's going to talk a little bit about USA jobs. So take a look at those events. Those are always good to go to. And then in the evenings in the union, we also have resume reviews. So you can bring in a copy of your resume, print it out, or on your phone, on your tablet, and we will walk through it with you guys and say, you know what, I would encourage you to do this, this, and this. That would build your resume. You're never going to be perfect on a resume because you are always changing. So your resume is always changing. I have some really good resumes walk in and I tell them, you know what, this is great. But what can we do to take it to the next level? You always want to be striving for that next level. If you scroll down on our ACES page, you will find job search resources. And this is a great place to go as well. You can look, Handshake is there. I like going into this one because it has the most. You can go into these search areas and look for companies, internships, and jobs. And you know what, if you see a company that you like on one of these job searches and they don't have an internship, reach out, connect, email the information. The best way to find an internship is to ask questions. Yes, so there are tons of stuff. If you're an international student, I encourage InterStride. Is a great one. It not only has workshops and information on visa stuff, the OPT, but it can answer a lot of questions. So networking is not something everybody wants to hear. It's often that reality of, wait a minute, I don't want to network. I had a student say, you know what, I grew up with some older parents and they're not the best at networking. And I said, well, did you play sports or do any competitive things in high school? Yeah, I did. Well, did you meet and greet your components? You know, you shake hands, you know which school they come from, you might learn their name. That's networking. Because who knows, later on, you're out of high school, you still go to your hometown, other people show up and you're like, oh, I know you from track and field and I ran against you. Yeah, you did. What are you doing now? Oh, I'm working for this company. Really? I would love to know more about that company. So you don't have to be intimidated by networking. You just have to be willing to say, hello, my name is, what's yours? And ask questions. Asking questions is, I don't know, I've gotten to the point where it's like, it's easy. I would love to talk about you and not have to answer my questions. So if I keep asking, whoa, what's your major? Where are you from? I get to know about you and we'll find a common reality of like, oh, really? That's great. I know so-and-so. Or it might be a bad day. You know, I'm having a tough time. I can't find this and this. I know someone who. So don't think that the networking has to be scary. It actually, the practice you put forth before finding an internship, or I should say, while finding an internship, during your internship is gonna make finding a job so much easier. Because there are tons of students out there who have had an internship with this company, and before they left, that employer said, we would like to offer you this position of da 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 da. Oh, okay, well, but I'm not graduating until 2 years. That's fine. When you're done, you call us. What an easy thing instead of having to go job searching. It's like, oh, they saw you in action and you made a difference there. Doesn't mean you have to take it, but you could also use that person as a reference. It opens a lot of doors. You're just creating a safety net. Yeah, the networking is who knows who, why, what's the benefit? Coming here, my cousin's husband is on the UW Foundation board. And I didn't know anything about philanthropy, but he said, you know, you're a good worker. You should meet with so-and-so and so-and-so. Well, from the 2 people that I got to meet with, because I just emailed and said, you know, my cousin is on the board. He said I should meet with you. Would you have time to sit down and answer some questions? Or could I just pick your brain about what the foundation does? And they said, yeah, sure. I learned so much information and they knew other people. I also, one of them said, you know, when you jump into a job or a certain profession or you're changing professions, You have to learn the language of that profession. And I was like, I never thought about that. You know, what is the language? So as I'm applying and putting in my resumes and cover letters, boy, it made a difference when I started matching not just the words of the job description, but understanding what that language was and put in that investment. So those connections are huge. Okay, so let's dream big. Let me make sure I've hit anything. Does anyone have any questions? Internship so far? Yeah,
I was curious, as a freshman, how many, internships are like available to freshman students?
very few,
Yeah.
very few. So what I didn't touch on the networking is you need to take the opportunity to connect with your faculty and advisors and ask that question of, is it required? And do you know anyone on campus? Because often employers, it's sad that they're not looking for those freshmen. But even that summer internship, a lot of them are not always wanting to hire freshmen going into sophomore year. Not sure why, but I would say in that area, if you can connect with faculty and advisors and ask about what's happening on campus, but then that question of, are you going home for the summer? So what companies or who do you know back in your hometown who might have a job that you could count as an internship? Because if you know what your department requires as an internship, sometimes they have to qualify the job for that. And if you know, well, you have to have so many hours, you have to have worked in this specific area, you need to work under this kind of an advisor, you know, or supervisor, then it can still line up. So you have your summer job along with getting credit for your internship. And so that's where that networking is really important, to walk up and say, what can I do? What would count? Or I'm going home, I'd like to work with this company. Could we make that work? I still encourage you to go to career fairs and ask the employers, because if they get a freshman coming up saying, I just wanted to connect, do you have any summer internships? Do you have any internships? When can we start working as an internship with you? They're intrigued. Oh, whoa, you're just making a connection? Great, wonderful. So it might not happen for this summer, but then you show up at that career fair next year and they're like, I remember you. I have an internship for you. Or even to say, can I leave my email with you or my resume so that if something comes up, will you email me? That is starting that investment. That idea of why not just get a job compared to an internship is because, well, it's gonna attach here with Dream Big. I'm jumping the gun. Did that answer your question though?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so don't be discouraged. Put forth that effort, because if you want it, they're gonna see it and they might even find something for you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if they see your resume, then they might be like, you know what? We could bend the rules a little bit. Let's take you. So dream big. What is your dream job and why?
I want to work for myself.
Okay. And what's your major?
The American Statistics.
Okay.
It's like pre-law.
Oh my goodness. But you want to work for yourself. So your own business or just,
My own law.
okay. And so all the other details of working for yourself on your own law firm, are you covering all those bases? Like, do you know someone who owns their own law firm?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how they got there?
A little bit of how I got there.
Okay,
I don't know all the details.
it's something to dig into. What else? So go ahead and write it down, because I do want you guys to see this on paper too. I think that makes a difference. So write down your dream job, even if it doesn't connect with what you're doing now. or your dream? It doesn't just have to be a job. I would love to live in France.
You're here.
Yay. Maybe one day we'll be there too. Right? So from that dream big, work backwards. So like I asked you, do you know someone who owns their own law firm? Do you know someone who has that profession or is doing what you want to do right now? I just found someone who lives in France, an old college friend, and I'm like, oh, see, this is good. How do I get there? So you're looking for the examples, the connections, the personal versus the professional. So there's a reason why you want to own your own law firm. And do you have to go through working for another one before getting there? Or can you just get into your own firm on your own? It's those detailed questions of working backwards. Which also answers that question of job versus internship. Why not just get a job? Because a job is going to pay the bills. But what if that internship could build on your resume, which would take you one step closer to your dream? Is it paying all the bills? No, but are there other opportunities right now that could offer helping financially? Yes. So weigh that out. A lot of people will get to graduation and they're like, hey, what do I do now? Well, what do you want to do? What did you graduate with? What is your degree? Oh, it's this. Okay, well, why did you want to do that? Oh, I don't know. I just had to choose something. Okay, or they might say, well, I really want to do this. Well, what does your resume look like? Well, I've just been working at McDonald's for the past 4 years. And then it's more of a challenge to be like, okay, we haven't taken those stepping stones to build on your resume in order for you to achieve your dream. So it feels a little bit behind then. Now, is it impossible? No. But if you can accomplish these steps to your dream or your desires now, I mean, some people just want a job where it's financially stable. Just want that. I just want the money. I don't want to have to worry about it. I want the benefits, and then I can have my personal life when I'm done with work. Great, that's fine. That's a goal. That will set you up there. But how do we do that? You know, how much of that financial do you need? And what kind of jobs are out there in your field to do that? Do you guys see steps that you have already taken to build towards your dream? The classes you're taking? Yeah. Certain people, you know, like I'm thinking personal trainers. Is there a personal trainer who you really admire? Have you ever looked into their background?
I just like, I know a little bit about like the degree that he has, and like, that he's, that was their trainer, and, they train professional athletes. So.
Okay, so yeah, all of those details, it sounds like it lines up with what you want to do too.
Maybe not just like training professional athletes. That's like, just the everyday average people.
Okay.
So.
Okay. But yeah, to know that information of how did you get there? Which way did they go? You know, what are they certified under? All of those details are going to help you make your own decision too. And so this is all steps that need to help you find an internship. Don't just pull luck of the draw. You want to be in an internship that is going to be helpful to your future.
What if your dream job is not quite of existence or of importance at the moment? So it's what were you looking for in internships then?
I would go with what skills do you need to build, or would they be looking for in your resume? Because like those competencies, you know, there's 8 competencies that employers are looking for. Communication is a huge one. And you're right, many jobs out there are not created yet, which is a wonderful thing to think that you guys are gonna have jobs that aren't even thought of now. But what skills are needed? Like, are you gonna need to have nonprofit experience? That's huge to any employer because it says that you've worked with people, you know, grant writing possibly, which is a huge thing. You know, just the legalities of nonprofit stuff, you know, it's, you mentioned 3 different studies, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, all of those are building who you are and what you want to do. So what skills, or even say, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? You know, communication is a weakness. I've said it in a job. They say, what's your weakness? Well, communicating. Words are my weakness. But this is how I have learned about it. And then for them to hear that and say, oh, but you've spoke at stuff, but you've organized, but you know this and you teach and you know. So what skills are going to make that dream happen? Any other questions?
I have a question, because I gotta go to class. right
Sure.
now, But I just wanted to know about like, are most internships not paid? And just the logistics around how we, in this day, how the economy,
Uh-huh.
the way that even being a broke student and going somewhere for a summer, how do you pay for all of that? It's, I can't grasp.
So the nice thing is that internships, unpaid internships are exiting. So we encourage you to look for the paid internships or ones that have a housing allowance. So a lot of times you can find funding through school programs. I don't know exactly which ones those are, but to connect with your department and ask, do you guys have any funding for internships is a good question. Are you guys familiar at all, Haley and Tyler, with any financial aid for summer?
Not really.
Okay.
It kind of depends on each individual.
Okay. Because yeah, depending on the company too, they might be able to say, yes, we can help with that. So I would encourage you, ask
I was-
questions.
I was offered an internship, but it was funny. I was actually at a Rockies game. And I was standing there with for beer, and this other guy goes, if he gets carded. And the lady said, oh, Wyoming, that must be a big card. And I was like, no, I have one too, and so we compared our cards.
Yes.
And then he was like, oh, and then he started talking with me, and then come to find out he was he's a partner in a law firm in Cheyenne, and was like, here's my card. Whenever you're ready for that internship, give me a call. So I was like, that was amazing.
Yeah, you network very well. Yes. And so when you give him a call, I would be honest too. Do you offer, you know, what is the pay? You know, I really want to come do an internship with you. I'd investigate a little bit more so that you can say, because I see that you work with da 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 da, or your focus is here, here, and here, or I just want experience out there. You know, why do you want to come and have the internship? But I do, you know, financially, this is a challenge. Do you offer any help or know of anyone who can help with that? So it's always good to be honest in that situation. But if you can lead in with why, what's your drive, that speaks totally different than, hi, I'm looking for that internship, but I need some financial help. It says more about, I'm really invested in what's going on. And yes, I would check in at faculty advisors, you know, drop into any office and say, I'm trying to find some information on internship financial help. I wish I had more answers for you,
It's okay.
but next time, hopefully I will be able to answer that. Yeah, Okay, any other questions? Do you have a better understanding of internship? Yeah. And that's okay.
It's about the same.
Okay,
It was more just where to start, looking, I guess was my opinion,
okay. May I ask what your major is?
chemistry and Spanish.
Oh,
It's my mind, figuring out doesn't really.
yeah,
I wanna go into explosives lab work and,
this sounds exciting.
that you can do with it, but not exactly what I wanna do.
Okay,
And like the closest thing for what I'm looking at, would be forensic work,
okay,
but not specifically, and like, I don't want to be bomb squad.
okay,
So it's like, well, there's different types of internships. I can go the legal route,
mm-hmm,
or I could go the chemistry route, or I could go the forensic route. And so there's almost too many options.
yeah,
For me to choose from, which is when like, I don't. Where to start.
exactly. What year are you?
I'm a senior, but I'll be here for another year.
Okay, cause if you were gonna say lower, you're like, well, you have, I would do one of each.
Okay.
I think investigating companies is a good place to start. Because just because they're coming to the STEM fair doesn't mean that's all the jobs that they have. And truthfully, if you end up at a career fair and you go around talking to people, if they're sending them to a STEM fair, they normally send their STEM people. If they are sending them, to the ag fair, they're sending those people. But that does not mean that's the only job they're offering. So, go ahead.
Another thing that I've noticed is that a lot of times, like I started out in chemical engineering specific.
Okay.
And I transferred to chemistry, but, a lot of times, there's not a lot of chemical engineering opportunities.
Okay,
They go, no, we want process, or we want nuclear, but we'll hire you in this, and it's like, well, I don't study those things.
okay,
And they do help in certain areas, but it's very interesting on how they word it.
okay,
And I've gone to one other career fair specifically for chemistry. They're a little bit better, but I'm like, no, I want a chemist
okay,
instead of, well, I want your degree to be in chemistry, but I want you to do something really fun based on what it is.
yeah.
So,
Which is a huge benefit for you
Yeah.
to hear that they'll hire you, just, hey, we'll hire you. I would dig in with more questions. Okay, what does it look like then? Could I meet some other people? This is really what I want to do. I'd love to work with you because it could, offer this, this, and this. Truthfully, so many people do not follow a career that is based off what their degree was. Employers are looking for, I want to know that you have a bachelor's. Great, wonderful. Now engineering, they follow that line a little closer. But if they're still willing to hire you, even though that's not what you study, that could open a lot of doors. Those are the kinds of internships I think you should look into. Are you familiar with any of the labs? The lab event that came?
not as much. A lot of lab work is like biological, and I don't want to do biological.
Okay.
It's not. I would rather do that than anything in mining, but
Uh-huh,
that's a lot of what the lab work is,
okay,
and.
You
I'm
know
still
what
trying
you're
to
looking
figure
at.
out Forensic-ish type of stuff.
do you know anyone in that field?
I don't, which is where I'm struggling to find anyone,
Okay,
because I've reached out to a lot of people, like no one's ever gotten back to me on it.
okay.
University, I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's just not.
What about, are you on LinkedIn?
I created a LinkedIn profile a long time ago. I haven't really touched it since though,
Okay,
but
if you upload a current resume and like fill in some of those questions on your profile and update it, I would encourage that. And then I would encourage getting connected with alumni. You can type in UW alumni, and then you can look into what their major was. You can look into companies. So there's a lot more research on your side that is going to help you find what you want. You might have to take this kind of internship and ask a whole bunch of questions while you're in it, but that's still building your resume. Because if both of those things, or all three, are gonna be required for this job, then you're building your skill set. And it's gonna be easy for them to read. Oh, she's got a bachelor's in that. Oh, she's had experience with this. So I would also, I'm curious to look at your resume. Is all of that listed? Are your skills listed on it? But if you can try and find some networking with alumni, you might find someone who has something similar to what you want to do. But don't be discouraged that it's not out there already. You know, or even entertaining those internships. What could I get from this that will benefit me, even if it is just on the chemistry side or on the Spanish side? Okay. I am gonna let you guys go because I know there's classes and stuff. We had some challenge cards, which you guys stated this before. What kind of challenges do you like to figure out? You know, it can often narrow it down. Do you like helping people? What scale is that? So if you're interested in that and you want to stick around for a little bit, you're welcome to come look at these challenge cards and we can talk more. Do invest in the career prep week and the career fairs. I know not all the fairs hit all majors like kinesiology. We're pushing to have a professional health fair in the fall, but you can still go network and practice that. And then keep an eye out for other career events that are happening. Please feel free to, the QR code was if you want to make an appointment with me, but I also can connect you with people in your colleges that have career services as well. Any other questions? Yeah. Haley.
Also, if you're a senior, we really encourage you to go get your headshots taken during the career prep week.
Yes.
And you can also use them on our website to track about you.
Right, won't that be nice? So the pop cam's coming. We had it last semester. It's coming again. It's a great little thing. It's going to be across campus. If you go to our website on the ACES page, it's all in green. So PopCam is at a different location every day, possibly 2 different locations. You are welcome to it wherever it's at. Animal science, visual arts, just show up, dress nicely from the waist up. I encourage solid colors because that always transfers to whichever job or situation you're sending your headshot to. And then it pops up onto your phone right away. That's the nice thing. It's a professional quality that you can use however you need. LinkedIn graduation announcement. I love that. Yeah, thanks for coming today, you guys, and for your patience. Okay. I need to connect with her at all.